So, good morning. I'm sitting here in Tennessee with my son in law, Nick Johnstone. We've been having some discussions about a common burden for young people, young men, young women, and their pursuit of either a job, their first job, or let's say a 20-year-old, young in life, and not sure where to go with their career. We are seeing so many changes in the economic picture and the job front across the country. And so I would like for him to share with you some of the things that he spoke to me about yesterday.
Yeah. Well, as you mentioned, it's been somewhat of a passion
Yep.
of mine personally. Just because of remembering not
Mhm.
being that long ago. I'm
Yep.
in my early 40s, so it was
Yep.
just 20 years ago that I was at that crossroads in life where high school's ending.
Yep.
You know, what's next? Is it
Yes.
college beginning? Is it headed to trade school? Is it getting a job? What is it? And then also add into that, am I going to get married? Who is that going to be to?
Hmm.
There's all these decisions that are needing to be made. And so it's a difficult time and season. So I think the biggest challenge that every young adult has really is that question of what's next.
Yeah.
I think a lot of our discussions
Yeah.
in the last couple of days, and what I think we'll discuss today is more specific to the trades.
Correct.
And you can probably speak to this better than I can because of your generation.
Hmm.
But I think your generation kind of came up and really you went to the factory
Yeah.
or you went to the trades,
Yeah.
or you work on the farm,
Hmm.
right? There wasn't it was kind of that was the direction everybody went, right?
Right. Not a lot of options.
And then we saw a generational shift that happened maybe shortly after I got out of high school, about the time I was going to high school, where it was like if you weren't going to college, you weren't going anywhere.
Correct.
And I've even heard as of late, just recently, I listened to a podcast where somebody was talking about the idea of people being afraid in
Hmm.
their peer groups, parents being afraid in their peer groups
Yes.
of saying, "Oh, my son's going to be a carpenter.
Yeah.
My son's going to be an electrician."
Right.
The idea that well, our kids go to Stanford,
Yes.
our kid's going to go to UW, our kid's going to go to the University of Tennessee, or our kid's going to go to
Yes.
LSU or whatever. It's like this
Yeah.
this prestigious school. My kid got into this school, right? So the reality of that is
Hmm.
that they're going to come out of school with $100,000 in debt,
Yeah.
maybe more,
Good point.
and they're going to have to try to find a job while they're in school that pays them a little bit of money to kind of just keep them going. And that's a journey and a path that a lot of people have chosen.
Hmm.
I even chose it partially for myself. It's not a bad journey, but you find yourself coming out of that journey with not a lot to offer. And
Right.
you have to hope that whatever you got your degree in
Yeah.
is going to catapult you into a career of some sort, um, that is going to support you, potentially support a family, and as you're starting life. And so there's been a move the last year or two, maybe more, back
Hmm.
towards the trades.
Hmm.
Kids coming out of school, going to tech schools. You're seeing a move towards HVAC and a move towards plumbing and electrical.
Hmm.
And there was a statement that caught my attention that I think is fascinating, and that was made by Larry Fink, I think he's the president or CEO of Blackrock.
Blackrock. Yeah.
And he said that in the next couple of years, that the U.S. is going to have a shortage of electricians,
Okay.
skilled electricians,
Yes.
um, and that there was a need. And he threw a number out there, so I'm repeating his number.
Yeah.
He said 500,000
Man.
electricians are needed across the
Hmm.
country.
Right.
So the next question then is, why would he need? Why would we need that many electricians?
Yes.
And you're seeing, going back to the early 2000s, there was a housing boom, right?
Hmm.
We're building houses faster than ever before, so there was a need of skilled workers for building houses, and then in the teens, as the tech boom took back off, and we begin to see technology like Meta and what was Twitter, now X, and all these companies,
Correct.
Apple, YouTube,
Yes.
they begin to build out these sprawling tech campuses, right?
Yes.
With offices for developers and offices for directors and all these things.
Yeah.
And then 2020 hit, and everybody went home,
Right.
and everybody thought, oh, the construction industry's dead. There's going to be no more work.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everyone forgot that Apple, YouTube, Twitter,
Yeah.
and now Meta,
Yeah.
now AI,
Yeah.
and by the way, everything that lives on this thing are all stored in a cloud.
Right.
That cloud isn't some far off
Puff in the
imaginary
sky.
thing that's floating in the sky, right?
Yeah.
It's a physical building
Right.
that's located geographically somewhere in the United States or maybe around the world. So we're seeing this boom now of massive data center construction that's going on around the country.
Sure.
And these facilities can range anywhere between 600,000 square feet up to 7 or 8 million square feet.
Wow.
And they're pretty benign construction. They're not a high rise.
Right.
It's not a skyscraper in New York with glass and all stuff. It's just a concrete tilt up building that is stood up out of the ground.
Yeah.
It's got a concrete slab. It's got a roof on it. But where the skilled electricians come in are the hundreds of miles of cable.
Yes.
That are ran, and every port that is ran inside that facility for receptacles and wiring connections to the servers that are going to house all the data.
Gotcha.
I worked on a facility in Kent, Washington 15 years ago.
Yeah.
It was the first large Amazon distribution facility.
Okay.
It was almost 1 million square feet on 2 floors.
Yeah.
And that facility alone had over 8 miles of conveyor belt.
Oh my goodness.
And there was a group of electricians that had built the building, got it wired up, installed everything in it, and were ready to go.
Yeah.
And a complete separate set of electricians, electrical company, that all they did was the conveyor systems. You imagine all the technology and wiring and facilitation that it takes to.
I've driven past the facility. Yeah, it's just monstrous.
It's massive, right?
Yeah,
and so that's when Larry Fink says skilled electricians.
Yeah.
That's what he's talking about. Now, that creates a couple of questions. Well, I mean, what if I want to sit in an office restaurant? I don't want to work hard.
Right.
Well, there's ways to get ahead in life, and there's climbing the corporate ladder and all that. And, nobody likes to talk about finances and money, but when you go to apply for a job, the first thing you ask is, how much does it pay, right?
Correct.
Because you know what your rent is, all these things are. And so you start looking at jobs, and people are getting office jobs that maybe pay $100,000 a year, maybe $125 a year, $150 a year, or they go to a sales job, right? Because I can make $200,000 a year in a sales job, and sales jobs are daunting. There's always a drive for more,
always.
more. And someone said to me one time, a manager I was working with in a sales organization, said that the average lifespan of a good sales guy, show me your best sales guy in the world. The average lifespan is 5 to 7 years.
Okay.
Because the stress and the demand on a sales guy, about 5 to 7 years, you're either moving into management or you've built such an incredible base of customers that the business is just residual and you don't really have to manage and go chase down new business anymore. Right? So these are all the avenues that you can look toward, but we're here today to talk about trades.
Yes.
So I got started in the trades in high school. And I partially got started in the trades because my father got into the trades when I was a kid. He worked in a sawmill.
Yeah.
And wanted to do better for his family. He had me, my sister, and another one on the way, and realized that what he was doing in the sawmill wasn't going to facilitate financially moving forward. And so he showed up on a construction site and applied for a job. This was back in the day when you actually had to show up and put an application in. You didn't do it online, right?
No.
And he tells a story of pulling up to that construction site every day for a couple of weeks with his tools, his tool bag, asking for a job. And the story that I think that if I recall, the story goes that there were 2 guys standing at the gate that day, and the guy came out to the gate and said, "Okay, I'm going to take both of you, and one of you by the end of the day is going to be gone, right? So who's going to work the hardest today? I only need one of you, but I'll give both of you a shot, right?" And that catapulted his career, and he ended up working on heavy commercial construction for years. And of course, then as a kid, you look up to your dad and you say, "Dad is a carpenter, and I'll be a carpenter," and I don't have any carpenter skills.
Sure.
But I got into the trades right out of college. I'd gone to Bible school and came home and, so again, I'm not against college. I think it's
Yep.
good. In fact, currently enrolled in college and pursuing more education. But it was the trades. It was getting into the trades that catapulted me to where I am today. And I would eventually, so I got in through concrete and excavation, but I was always looking towards the electrical industry.
I see.
And it was in 2005 that God opened the door in Washington State for me to get in with electrical companies.
Yeah.
And they began to teach me the electrical trade. I went to school with them. They put me through classes to learn electrical theory. And so through that process, I began to learn, and it was in that I began to explore these other avenues of the electrical industry, right? So I'm saying all that because you may be listening to something like this and you're saying, well, I don't really want to be a skilled laborer the rest of my life.
Yeah.
It's the entry point. Because once you're into an electrical contractor, now they need electrical project managers to actually run the job.
Yeah.
They need skilled people to do testing, arc flash testing. Once you're in there, you can find these specialty trades where we have lighting controls.
Gotcha.
And those are all education-based tracks that you can take off on, and you become the expert in lighting controls, right? Now that stuff's moving wireless and Bluetooth.
Now, question.
Go ahead.
Did you have to take a break and pursue any education pieces in order to go down these other roads?
No, I learned on the job.
Okay. So you got paid working, but still you were learning, which gave you an edge to continue to go to a specific or specified field.
Yeah, and a lot of that happened once you get in. Your employer is going to say, hey, there's a training next week in downtown Seattle. It's 2 days. It's 8 to 5.
Yeah.
It's for this specific system that we install every day. Would you consider sitting through this class and becoming the expert on that system?
And they pay the expenses to get you there?
They pay you to get there. They pay your parking. They pay your lunch. They do everything.
Yeah. Okay.
So now you leave there and you've got this specialty education.
Yes.
I'm going to shout out to Lutron. I'm going to use Lutron Electronics as one of them.
Okay.
That's a specialty system.
Okay.
They have wired and wireless systems, and once you're an expert in it, now you can go onto a job site and you know how the system needs to be wired, how it needs to be set up, how it needs to be commissioned. All of these pieces of it.
Yeah.
Here's the most important piece of all of this.
Yeah.
So I'll speak to your region because it's specific to you.
Yes.
But in Washington State right now, in the electrical industry, if you were to sign up through the local union, your local union, as an apprentice, you get hired on. Your starting wage today as an apprentice is $31 an hour. You get that for your first 1,000 hours of field work.
Gotcha.
Okay. So you're working in the field every day from 7 to 3:30 or whatever, doing your 8 hours a day. You're getting paid $31 an hour for that. Then at night, 1 or 2 nights a week, you'll have to go to school to take your electrical theory classes.
Okay.
They pay for that.
Beautiful.
It costs you. Now, it's your time to do it.
Right.
But it's paid for. After your first 1,000 hours, I think you go up to $34 an hour.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, and I think it's 3 or 4 years now, when you journey out.
Yeah.
So let's put this 2 tracks beside each other, right?
Yes.
University, 4 years.
Right.
You're paying $25,000, $30,000 a year for that, right? I can't do it.
And coming out in 4 years with a debt of?
Let's say it's $20,000 a year. That's a minimum debt of $80,000.
$80,000, which I've heard common among some.
Minimum.
Yeah.
By the time you figure you're going to incur some credit card debt because you're going to have a car breakdown or you got to pay rent, and you're probably going to pay $100,000. Let's just say for round numbers, you're $100,000 debt.
Right.
But let's say that you work 40 hours a week, 52 weeks out of the year. That's 2,000 hours.
Okay.
You will work if you're employed the entire time. So 2,000 hours, you're going to get a raise in there. So about 1,000 hours a half a year, right?
Yeah.
2,000 is a full year, so a half year is going to be 1,000 hours. So let's say you're going to make an average wage of $32 an hour. Okay. So you take that times $32 an hour. That's $66,560 in 1 year. that you will be paid
While you're being educated.
while you're being educated.
Yeah.
Okay. So at the end of 4 years, you're going to be $80,000 in debt in school.
Yes.
And probably making $15 to $20 an hour in a
Part-time job.
But at the end of 4 years, when you come out
Mm-hmm.
of electrical school,
Yeah.
you will begin making, now this isn't your take-home pay, but this is your overall,
Yeah.
as a journeyman electrician in your local,
Yeah. In Seattle
in
area.
Seattle,
Yep.
King County,
Yep. King County.
$110 an hour. Okay.
Did you hear that?
Your take-home pay is around 75.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So let's do this first year of your electrical. So now if you work those same
Yeah.
2,000 hours at that $75 an hour take-home,
Yes.
$150,000. So in your first year out of school,
Yeah.
you will have grossed $150,000.
And not accrued a bunch of debt.
Unless you don't manage your money.
Correct. Correct. Let me insert this. Now, one of the things that spurred this conversation originally, and some of the things that I was giving thought to in the last month or so, was that in my generation, I'm 67 years old. I just collecting now my first Social Security checks, which nobody could ever live on. When I left high school, I was given an option for college, and my father would have paid for it. I was actually accepted at 2 colleges, but I was not a student. I didn't want to go to school. I just finished school where I didn't want to be anyway. So I had to make a choice, go to college or go into the trades. But for at my time, my stepfather had a roofing and siding business. And so I just went to work for him. Now, he felt like because he was teaching me the trade, he didn't have to pay me very much. And at a very young age, I was working for $10 a day. Well, again, once you move into that area or the labor market, let's call it that, the labor market, not necessarily the trades, in order for me, if I wanted to pursue education now, I'd have to quit my job and go to college. And when a young person, or let's say a young man, begins to start a family, that option went away. You couldn't leave work and just go to college. There wasn't a support system for it. So you just continue through life in the labor market, hoping that something will fall out of heaven somewhere, or something will come along that will change. But I watched people the most of my life long just work on a line of production, making a wage, and at the end of life, come to a place of retirement and not have much to stand on. And so I see the value of this hour in that people can either work their labor job, but continue their education piece part-time online, or as Nick has stated, there's literally opportunities where you can be hired on as a worker, make a good wage, but the company itself then helps to continue your education to give you an edge up when it comes through working through the years. And so the dynamics have changed considerably of my generation, your generation. And I want as many young people as we can get this message out to give some consideration that there are options. You don't have to fall into a trap of just doing what you've always done and expect to get a different outcome and not get it. So I'm thrilled to hear about these opportunities, and especially in the Seattle market area. We did discuss that the wages around the country are substantially different. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, well, and yes, I can. Before I do that, though,
Yeah.
I want to tag into that because I'm hearing more and more of guys in their late 40s, early 50s
Yep.
that are jumping into the electrical apprenticeship program
Okay.
because they felt like they were in a dead end job.
There you go.
Not going anywhere. I'm maxed out. Whatever
Yep.
I'm doing, I'm at my max.
Yeah.
I'll never make $1 more than I make right now.
Yes, sir.
And they're looking down the road.
Yeah.
Inflation,
Mm-hmm.
cost of living.
Absolutely.
Saying, And let's just be honest, that's a depressing thought.
Yes, it is.
To think that my situation, unless I take initiative in it and try to bring about a change, is never going to change. That's a daunting thought.
Especially at $10 hamburger prices.
Right. And so people are looking at, and so I'm saying to you, if you're listening to this and you're 50 or 55 years old and you think that's past me,
Yeah.
it's not.
Good point.
Think the next 15 years. Let's say you're 50
Yep.
years old, you've got
Yep.
15 years left in the job market.
Yeah.
The difference between the 75 and 110,
Mm-hmm.
are medical benefits,
Gotcha.
retirement benefits.
Yes.
You could potentially have a few $100,000
Mm-hmm.
to $1 million of retirement funds,
Yeah.
stored up for you by somebody else.
Wow.
Over the next 15 years. So you may be looking at your situation from a today standpoint and saying, I'm barely getting by.
Yeah.
We're robbing Peter to pay Paul. We're living paycheck to paycheck. My wife's having to work. I'm having to work. Forget 15 years from now.
Yes.
I'm just hoping to get to this guy's age when I'm 67 and
Yes.
a half and I can start getting an extra $2,000 a month off Social Security, right?
Yes, yes.
And that's where your head's at. But what if by a little extra work,
Mm-hmm.
I could change the trajectory of the next 10 to 15 years of my life?
Mm-hmm.
Again, I understand that for some people, change is very difficult.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. But if I can step out in faith, believe that God could give me the grace for anything.
Yeah.
And I understand this isn't for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I understand not everybody wants to get up every day and put a set of work boots on and grab their orange vest and head out.
Pursue their interests.
But my friend, most kids coming out of college today
Mm-hmm.
are trying to find a $150,000 a year job.
Yeah.
And they're getting 50 to 80.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
60 to 90.
Yeah.
Hoping to make $100,000 a year.
Right.
And so these are all things to consider. I just felt like because of the age thing,
Yes.
that I'm hearing more of that. And people are, I think there's actually some trendy stuff. You can probably search this online, but there's
Mm-hmm.
some trendy things where there's guys that are mid-career that
Mm-hmm.
are shifting and saying, I've been going to a cubicle
Yeah.
for the last 20 years. Now, to your point about wages across the country.
Let me add a comment to what you just stated about the older gentleman. Because of a change of an action plan, if that individual has a family, has children, they have now observed the change of an action plan, which plants seed in their thoughts so that they don't feel like, you were a bus driver, I'll be a bus driver. You were a coal miner, I'll be a coal miner, and begin to follow a trend from the lineage of a family. Again, nothing wrong with that if that's what you wish to do. But when the man of the house has said, okay, I'm going to make an executive decision here, I'm going to make an adjustment. It may seem late in the game, but I'm going to make this adjustment. You just showed something to your children that is invaluable. It's invaluable.
Well,
So-
we talked about the effect that my dad's,
Mhm.
not just in ministry, the
Yeah.
effect he had on me, but his
Yes.
career choice, how that affected what I did
Yes,
down the road. Now, it doesn't reflect what I do today,
correct.
but as I said at the beginning, so, going back to 2000,
Yeah.
I started in the construction trades in about 97, 98,
Mm-hmm.
working with a home builder, right?
Yep.
Now, so this would have been 1997 or 1998, I think was the first construction job I had. I was working for a home builder.
Yep.
I would have been 17 years old in the summer of 98.
Mm-hmm.
He had me sweeping the floors in houses to get them ready I was picking up garbage outside,
Yeah.
doing a little bit of framing, doing a little bit of block work, doing whatever he'd done. I was general labor.
Yeah.
He was paying me $17 an hour.
Yeah.
In 1998. I thought I was a millionaire. Right?
Yeah.
And then, because this tags into that discussion last question you asked me
Yes.
about wages and stuff.
Yes.
I remember in my early 20s, 21 years old, getting put on a prevailing wage crew.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Yes.
a lot of the work we did was government.
Government. Yeah.
Highways, city streets, government buildings.
Explain what that means, prevailing wage.
So you've got the private sector and the public sector when it comes to construction.
Yeah.
So private sector is privately funded work. It's privately held. An investor, a developer is building a high rise, it's apartment buildings, whatever, and a lot of the wages on those types of jobs are less, maybe half
Mm-hmm.
in some places.
Mm-hmm.
They're very low, right?
Yeah.
Because they just get the cheapest labor they can find.
Yes.
Most of my career, I have chased prevailing wage work, which is government work. It's called the Davis-Bacon Act.
Gotcha.
If you are working on a government contract, they say this is the wage.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it. It's in a book.
Yeah.
Just like the wages I discussed a few minutes ago are public information on our
Correct.
website.
Yes.
I shared that with him. If you want to read
I'm
that
going to
with
be
him.
attaching that. Yes.
Yeah, so you can go look at these are wages. It's the union labor, local 76 in Seattle, local 46 in Tacoma, Pierce County.
Yeah.
And you can go look online, your local union, wherever you're at, has got wages posted. But that prevailing wage aspect of it, I chased prevailing wage work because in my early 20s, I could make $30 to $31 an hour operating a backhoe. Which again, today, we just talked about $30 a day being a good wage starting, right?
Yeah.
Imagine what that looked like in 2001.
Yes.
You know, as a young man,
Right.
I had some college expenses that I had incurred,
Mm-hmm.
but it was very easy to catch up. And obviously, my parents had supported me and helped me through that.
Mm-hmm.
Helped me come up with a little bit of down payment money. I was able to buy my first house at 22 because I had the income
You had it
to support the mortgage payment.
Yes.
That's all the bank's looking at, right? They look at you want to buy a house. They say you got enough coming in to support what you have to put out.
Debt to income ratio.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, chasing the prevailing wage piece of it.
Yes.
Now, not every contractor does prevailing wage work.
Yeah.
But if you stay with a union contractor in the region, in the Seattle region, a lot of the non-union contractors, in order to keep the clientele or the employees,
Yes.
have got to pay near the union wages.
Right.
So you may get a little bit less with a non-union contractor,
Mm-hmm.
but it's close, right? And I know there's arguments about the union, non-union, and all that. So
Mm-hmm.
you decide that, right? You
Sure.
decide it.
Yeah.
But one of the deciding factors across the country, every county's got a different Davis-Bacon wage rate.
Okay.
So, if you live in Southern California, your Davis-Bacon wage rate's going to be different than if you live in King County, Seattle.
Correct.
If you live, we're sitting here today in Blount County, Tennessee, the wage rate in Blount County, Tennessee is half for an electrician.
Yes.
What it is in Seattle market.
Gotcha.
I know in the last few years, I haven't lived in the Puget Sound region for a few years, but
Mm-hmm.
We were seeing a lot of guys driving in out of Idaho, Montana, and they would park a trailer in a
To work.
camping spot
Wow.
because they could make good money
Yes.
and then drive home on the weekends, and they would just live in a trailer.
Yep.
And some of these people were only doing this for 3 to 5 years to just get ahead.
Get ahead.
Work
Yep.
all the overtime they could get.
Yeah.
Because think about time and a half.
Wow.
You work an 8-hour Saturday or a 10-hour Saturday.
Yeah.
At, now you're at $110, $115 an hour, $120 an hour.
That's $1,000 a day.
Yeah.
Wow.
So all of these things have served to propel the idea of becoming an electrician to the forefront.
Yeah.
It's not being talked about.
Yeah.
Maybe it is in your school. Maybe the high school or the recruiters or the I forget what the
Job opportunity classes or
the
occupation classes.
Yeah, occupation classes, your guidance counselors.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if they're bringing these
They
kinds
don't
of
know.
things up to kids.
Nah, I doubt
or
it.
if they're just passing out college applications. What you get is fine.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Sure.
But I think you have to start exploring these things, and I do want to add
Mm-hmm.
that.
Let me confirm the camera's still running. I can clip this out.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
I do want to add too that we're here today talking specifically about electrical,
Yeah.
but I know that plumbing is just as good or better.
Okay.
Same concept,
Yes.
right? You're learning while you work. You're getting paperwork.
That's fantastic.
Carpenters union.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Learning while you work, getting paid. There's growth.
Gotcha.
HVAC.
Uh-huh.
Same thing. Now you got to go to school for a while for HVAC. There's some tech school.
Right.
I think it's maybe 12 to 18 months.
Okay.
Very little cost. You can apply for grants and scholarships coming out of school
Yes.
and get most of that covered.
Yes.
But huge demand for HVAC techs.
Wow.
Right.
Okay.
When you talk about the trades,
Yep.
look at a building and think of everything that goes into
Everything. Yeah. Yeah.
that. From concrete to to steel. We didn't even mention steel workers.
Oh, yeah.
You know, again, all these things. I went toward the electrical industry.
Yeah.
I think the electrical industry is the easiest on your body.
Yes, sir. I've watched the electricians work.
Yes. So to that point, I was building a building. This is when I was in my early 20s. I was building a big pole building that they were going to use as a
Yeah.
farm storage / farm store.
Yes.
On this big farm.
Yeah.
And man, I was putting a roof on that place. You know what that's like in summer, putting a metal roof on a pole barn?
I do.
It's hot.
I've done it.
Dropped my drill a few times, slid all the way down to the bottom, broke it.
Yeah.
This is when cordless drills first came out, and they were still expensive. I didn't like breaking them, right? And I remember looking through, I'm putting that roof on, and I watched the electrician sitting on a bucket at the panel, playing around, putting those, plugging wires into the breakers, and he's singing along with some music, and I came down hot and sweaty. He's like, "What are you doing, brother?" And I was like, "I think I'm in the wrong place." And it would be a few years before God would open the door and give me an entrance into it.
Yep.
And now I don't even touch wire.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the field in 3 years.
Wow.
But I'm still in the electrical industry.
Sure.
Because once you're in, maybe you go to the supply side.
Yep.
Maybe you go to the inspection side.
Yeah.
There's all these. I tell people all the time that talk to me about this. There are so many avenues that you can go that all make really good money. You got the manufacturer side, the people that are manufacturing the parts.
Yeah.
The switchgear, the panel boards, the breakers. That's a whole division of people. That's all they do on the supply side. They understand it. They design it.
Mm-hmm.
They supply it. I already mentioned lighting. You've got wiring.
Yeah.
There's manufacturers out there. All they do is the wiring in the wiring apparatuses.
Yep.
Right? Massive facilities, massive companies. People that just sell wire. They just quote sell wire. So you could look at it.
Yes.
Every single one of these are their own industry. Once you're into
Yeah.
the umbrella of the electrical industry.
Yes.
So it doesn't mean that if you go to electrical contractor tomorrow, or you go to the
union
shop and you sign up tomorrow, that in 5 years from now,
Yeah.
you're going to be an electrician pulling wire.
Yeah.
You may love it. You may decide this is what I want to do the rest of my life.
Sure.
But you might end up quoting wire jobs.
Correct.
You might
be an estimator.
Being an estimator. Who knows what you do? But once you have the knowledge and it's on your resume,
Mm-hmm.
the world is
That's when your value begins to be determined by what you know and not by what you do. Let me insert something. Several months back, I felt to start to record some videos where I simply told the story of small businesses that I begin to build through my life, different businesses and different, sharing the entrepreneurial side of things, because once your eye is open to that, you just see it everywhere in different things. As I was doing that, because I was wanting to share with very young people to begin to think differently, rather than maybe just, going and getting a job at a hamburger joint, maybe doing a paper route is a better thing, where you're working for yourself, or governing your time, things like this, grander opportunities to make more. The Lord checked me. And this is how he checked me. You've got to honor the Lord with the first fruits of your increase. You have made me a priority in your life. You have had my blessing on these projects. And so it was then that I realized, okay, I may have a lot of great ideas, and all those ideas worked for me, but they may not work for somebody else, because again, this has been a prevailing principle in your life. Seeking first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. So that is an element. You have had the favor of God on your life as you have made him your highest priority. And the favor of God trumps everything. It trumps everything. It trumps an education. It trumps great ideas. It trumps everything. So you can't take that out of the equation.
I think it's probably the most critical part. Jesus said,
Yes.
Seek first the kingdom.
Yes.
And that he says, take no thought.
For the morrow,
What
yes.
you're going to eat, what you're going to drink, wherewithal you shall be clothed.
Yeah.
He said, but just seek first the kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things that we worry about, all these things that we're concerned about,
Hmm.
I'll take care of those things
Absolutely.
if you put him first. And that's in everything.
Yeah.
You know? I mean,
It is.
if you're trying to figure out what to do in life, seek him first. Figure out,
Hmm.
determine your calling.
Yeah.
Determine your giftings, spiritual giftings.
Yeah.
And begin to pursue, not operating in them, but begin to pursue working in them in the kingdom, right? And then
Co-laborer.
what
Yep.
happens
Yes.
with everything else in life. You'll
Yes.
find doors opening, right?
Yes.
You know, for years, you know, this is maybe another subject for another video, but
Sure.
I think it's applicable to what you just described.
Yeah.
But for years, you know, as a minister,
Yeah.
apostolic minister,
Yeah.
I pursued full-time ministry.
Hmm.
And I remember it was probably halfway through my electrical career.
Okay.
I'm 20 years into my electrical career now. So
Okay.
say 10 years, about the mid-teens.
Yeah. Yeah.
That I was, you know, I was just doing what I was doing
Uh-huh.
to make a living,
Yeah.
so that I could be a full-time preacher somewhere.
Gotcha. Yep.
Right. That was my mindset.
Yep.
I don't know if it was age. I don't know if it was the fact that 10 years in that hadn't happened, but there was a shift that happened
Uh-huh.
where I determined I can do both.
Absolutely.
I can put the kingdom first.
Yep.
I can seek first his kingdom and his purpose and his plan for my life and operate in that
Yes.
at a high level,
Hmm.
and be a really, really good professional that's apostolic.
And make a good wage and a witness.
A good wage,
Yep.
be a witness, be a light, be an influence in a darkened world.
Yes.
I can do both.
Right.
And be highly successful in both.
Yes.
And I think if there's one thing that I can impress on anybody, it would be it's not one or the other.
Right. Absolutely.
I think we've perpetrated that idea for far too long. You're either going to be a pastor
Yeah.
or a worker.
Yeah.
Right?
No. Yeah.
What if you can do both and be successful at both?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's let's talk to the future. There's a couple of people that I have given audience to that I mentioned to you. One was Kathy Wood. The other one is Brad Gerstner. These are people you can find on YouTube. They are investors. But some of their communication about this super cycle that we are headed into, can you speak to what you see the future of the industry that you are directly a part of, where that's headed?
Yeah, you know, and it's relative in a sense.
Okay.
You know, if you look at where we are today with AI,
Yeah.
in comparison to where we were a year ago,
Mm-hmm.
and you take that and you think about where we've come in 1 year
Mm-hmm.
and where we might be a year from now,
Yes.
it's moving at such a speed that I don't know that we can even wrap our mind around.
Sure.
Right?
Yep.
And I'll share a personal experience that I had recently. So I oversee a lot of operations for estimates and quotes and bids in the electrical industry, electrical supply industry, but specifically the lighting and,
Yes.
and lighting controls and those types of things. So we have a manual system that does those things, right?
Yes.
We get a set of plans in, we roll them out, we look at them. Usually, you know, historically, you would count every fixture. You can look at the fixture counts because somebody counted it, and
Yeah.
all these things that historically
Manually
we had to do in our business, right?
Right.
And so I began about 6 months ago to realize, man, I think some AI stuff might start to infringe on what we do, right?
Yeah.
It's very manual. It's
Yes.
very manual right now.
Yes.
The data entry piece into our bidding softwares is very manual. And I thought, you know, I'm in my early 40s. I've probably got, you know, let's just say 20 years left.
Yes.
We use 65 now. I got 20 years left in the business.
Right.
I'm probably not going to have to do anything with AI. I'll probably see it around
In a grand scale. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
In the same way that the previous generation or 2 generations ago was probably like, that computer's nice, but I'm done in 5 years. I'm not going to know how to use it.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Well, I got online one day. I set aside an entire Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I'm going to take the AI tools that are available today.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to lock my office door, and I'm just going to spend the entire day playing with the tools, seeing if they can do
What you do.
machine learning what I do
Okay.
on a manual basis every day.
Yeah.
These were not dedicated software programs. This
Right.
was OpenAI, available
OpenAI.
for free on the internet.
Oh my, yeah.
Okay. It blew my mind. I was so scared by the end of that day.
Yeah.
I thought, this is here.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that I'm going to see this happen. I have to figure out how
It's
to
here.
usher this in.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
That was on a Monday. On a Wednesday, I got on a plane and flew to Florida to be a part of the National Association of Electrical Distributors meeting. So all distributors around the country, we met in Florida.
Yep.
Marco Island, Florida.
Yep.
And I got there a day late. The conference started the day before, but I had some personal obligations, so I got there a day late. I got to the check-in desk. I got my badge. I headed to the conference floor room for all my meetings that were going to happen that day.
Yep.
And I got stopped 3 times in the first 5 minutes on my way to my first meeting.
Yeah.
By AI companies saying, hey, we see you're with electrical distributor. Can we talk to you about our AI order entry software?
Oh my goodness.
Hey, we're doing.
Yeah.
And I sat down at that first meeting. I could hardly even pay attention to what the attendees were saying because in my mind I was like, it's here.
It's here.
It's here, right?
Yeah.
So what that has caused is all these pop-ups,
Ah.
all these startups.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
These AI-based companies that 5 years ago, even a year ago, didn't even exist.
Yeah.
But today, they're creating tools.
Yes.
That are going to be used to further the trades,
yeah.
to further training,
yeah.
to further all these things. And they're creating this super cycle, this super,
correct,
this acceleration of
yes.
things that we wouldn't even have considered putting money into or participating in.
Right.
But they're growing at such a rapid pace.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working right now with companies that we didn't even know they didn't even exist 2 years ago.
Okay.
But now they're becoming a household name in our industry.
Right.
And growing at a rapid pace. And I've asked some of them, are you guys going public soon? And they
mm-hmm.
just laugh. They won't say yes or no, right? Because we're growing so fast.
Yeah.
That these things are happening. And so, when you ask that question, that what kind of season are we
looking
in?
ahead?
What's coming ahead? I don't even know that we can answer the question to that,
mm-hmm.
or that we know the answer to that, because we're seeing things happen. Just think about your daily task right now.
Yeah.
What you do on a daily basis.
Yep.
And how that could potentially be automated, and that's what's coming.
I was looking at a YouTube video one day. I think I was exploring the idea of doing my own audit using ChatGPT, and I discovered you could do it. And but what I came across was videos that were CPAs saying there's a lot of people in the financial industry that are bookkeepers or CPAs that are saying, hey, AI is going to take our jobs away. And his communication was this: well, if you're lazy and don't want to do the work, it's going to take your job away. But if you're smart, you will use AI. And what used to take you 2 weeks, you can now do in 20 minutes. So now your value in the industry has just escalated because now you become a manager of time, not of how much more numbers you can crunch, because now you have a tool that can do it. If you learn the tool, use the tool, you're going to be the high guy on the list. But if you're lazy and think, no, I'm just going to keep doing things the way I've always done them, you're probably going to get aced out.
I can today take an electronic drawing of a building. I can scan it.
Okay.
And it will count every fixture on that page.
Wow.
10 years ago, we were going. Now there were some software developers out there, software companies, estimating companies who had created some tools where you could point and click.
Yes.
Bluebeam has been doing that for a while, but
yeah,
we can now take a schedule.
Yes.
On a set of drawings, because there's a door schedule, there's a fixture schedule, there's
yep.
a plumbing schedule, there's a schedule that's created.
Yep.
You can now grab that schedule, highlight it, just highlight it.
Yes.
And create a bill of material from that, like
yep.
that. The last 5 years has been us taking that schedule and manually entering it, right?
Yes.
The world's changing.
It's changing.
And so
let me submit this. If you are still watching this video After all this discussion, go ahead and hit the like and the subscribe button. If you don't mind, I'm going to put this on my personal channel. If you have comments or questions, please leave them there. We'll take a look at them and see if we can address them.
Yeah.
I want to engage with people who are interested in these things that we're talking about right now. So there you have it. You were saying.
Yeah. So I think there's what we call emerging technologies.
Yep.
In our
Yes.
business.
Yes.
Right. And some of the things that we're looking towards are different form factors for lighting fixtures.
Okay.
Different technologies, emerging technologies in lighting controls.
Yes.
Everybody knows what a smart home is.
Mm-hmm.
But what does a smart building entail?
Okay.
And how do you monitor a smart building?
The lighting thing you mentioned yesterday when we were driving down the road. The
Uh,
controls and how
yeah.
they manage on and off things.
Yeah. I mean, those are things that they're regionally driven,
Okay.
right? Because they're driven by the energy code.
Okay.
And every state has got a different energy code. There's different requirements. But
Mm-hmm.
in the West,
Yes.
the energy codes are very stringent.
Yes.
So where the majority of my work is, we're Title 24.
Okay.
It's one of the strictest energy codes in the country.
Okay.
Washington
Yep.
has a Washington State Energy Code.
Yes.
It's usually right behind. It's 1 year behind
California.
So whatever California rolls out, Washington rolls it out the next year, right?
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
it's very stringent. There's
Yep.
all these requirements.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the greatest requirements, the biggest requirements in the energy codes is daylight harvesting.
Okay.
So, through a photo cell, they are monitoring, if a room has windows in it, with that photo cell, they are monitoring the level of light on a table that we set. We tell it how much light needs to be in that room.
Yeah.
And that photo cell then sits there and watches a surface to make sure that level of light is there.
So application, table, so much light on it. You mentioned schooling, education piece.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in schools, a classroom is set up that way.
Yes.
So it always has a set amount of light for the IES standard that
Yeah.
should be at that writing desk, that writing surface for that student. And so it's watching what's coming into the window.
Yeah.
It's looking at what's coming from the ceiling. It's calculating all that,
Mm-hmm.
and then says, "Oh, we're going to dial the lights back 80%, right? So now you're saving the energy."
Yes.
Sometimes the lights may be completely off. You may
Right.
only have one light on in the facility, but these are all the technologies. Now back to all those different routes you can take, right?
Yes.
The guy who installs that photo cell,
Yes.
and the guy who comes in and tells that photo cell what to do are two separate trades.
Two different guys. Yeah.
Those are programmers.
Do you suspect that kind of technology, of course, you're saying if it's code, it's going to be demanded everywhere. We've got, a mountain of Amazon buildings in downtown Seattle now where people are sitting at a desk. We have obviously the restaurant industry. Do you feel like those kinds of things will touch all aspects, whether it's residential, homeowners, commercial buildings, restaurants, schools?
Well, most of that, I worked on a lot of those.
Will they retro or will that?
Those facilities are up to date.
Okay, they are.
I worked on a lot of those facilities down there.
Okay.
They got that technology.
They have it.
Those were part of a lot of those energy codes. Now, they may not all be up to date, but then what happens is that they come in and refresh that building down the road.
Yes.
Microsoft's a great example. Microsoft just went through a massive campus refresh, right?
Yeah.
They had to come up with code.
Wow.
As soon as you got a building, boom, now the new code's in place.
Okay.
So a lot of that is done. But yeah, to your point, I don't think, could be wrong, government always does what they want. I don't think they'll ever mandate the lighting controls piece on a residential side.
I see.
But the energy code does apply to resi.
Yeah.
It applies the kind of windows you can have,
Mm-hmm.
the amount of insulation that has to be in the walls, the floor, the ceiling.
Sure.
That's all driven
Yeah.
by the energy code in Washington State and California.
Yes.
There are, what they have chosen to do, instead
Yeah.
of forcing homeowners to do it, is incentivize a homeowner to do it, right?
Okay.
So your utility company and you're into either Tacoma Power or
Yeah.
mm-hmm. They will give you a rebate
If you'll do it.
a technologically driven thermostat in your house, right? That's smart. That can be controlled by your phone.
Smart thermostat.
It can have motion. It has motion capability that knows when someone's not home. So let's turn it off. Or whatever.
I see. Yeah.
So let's say that smart thermostat costs you $100. You can turn in a rebate
And subsidize. They subsidize.
$75 they
Yeah.
pay for that thermostat. So it costs you $25. Now you got a cool gadget.
Yeah.
You got an app on your phone.
And you have controls over it.
You have control over it. From remote, right?
Yes.
Let's say you're going on vacation and cold snap hits.
Yeah.
And you want to turn the heat up in the house. You have to do that remotely.
Yes.
So I think from the residential side, it's always going to be incentivization versus, forcing it by code.
Sure.
But on the commercial side, it's just an absolute. This
Absolute.
is what's required.
Right.
And the schools are the most complicated.
Yeah.
Because they have so many zones in a classroom.
Yes.
That need to be controlled from the teacher to the students.
The window side of the class to the hall side of the class.
Correct.
Yeah. Correct. Interesting.
So all these things are technologies, emerging technologies, and just in the last 10 years, we've gone from a lot of those systems being wired.
Yeah.
So you were running wire between devices.
Yeah.
To now those devices just go to the ceiling and they communicate via Bluetooth or a mesh network of some sort.
Sure.
Where we're headed next is that those devices now live inside the fixture.
Okay.
So they're not a separate device anymore. They live inside the fixture.
Right.
And they communicate wirelessly from inside the fixture.
Interesting.
There's been some development. I don't know where it's at today. I haven't checked in on it in a few years, but there were some guys developing some wireless power that operated similar to Wi-Fi.
Oh.
So you wouldn't have to physically run wiring to a fixture.
Oh my.
It would be transferred. I don't know where they're at with that technology, but there's all kinds of things like that I think are going to change.
They're coming. Yeah.
You're seeing a lot of what they call power over Ethernet.
Okay.
So they're developing devices that can run from a Cat5 cable, right?
Yes.
Cat6 cable.
Yes.
The device needs so little power that they can power it through an Ethernet cable.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
the power is from a server.
Yep.
And not from a panel board.
Interesting.
So all these things, and that again, these emerging technologies don't diminish the electrical industry. They create more opportunity for education and specific
field.
Yeah.
Of labor. So what you're saying is the technology that's coming, a house demands a 200 amp service panel, and so it governs how much power can go into the house. So you're limited to how many outlets I can have, how many light bulbs by that service panel and the breakers on it, right? Are you saying it's now to the place where they're designing power that will be able to increase that without changing a panel in a house? A lot of times they kick up against the limit of their panel and they can't do anything more in their house, their yard, anywhere.
Yeah. I don't think we're there yet.
Okay.
What you're seeing a lot more of, especially in the state of California, is where you have to, I forget what they call them, but it's basically load demand. So the new panels that are going in have to be able to give power back.
Okay.
So during high demand, if your house isn't using anything, they're able to monitor and say,
oh my goodness,
Nick's not home, let's steal some of his power right now and send it down to
back to the grid.
That industry park down the road that's pulling all this power right now, I think it changes.
Mining Bitcoin down at the corner.
Exactly. Or the new data center that's going in, storing all your information, right?
Yes.
Where I think, to your point there of the load, I think where we're going to see that 200 amps service go a lot further is where we're creating less
devices
on devices.
I see. Yeah.
So our lighting is more efficient.
Yeah. Computer screens, all kinds of.
Efficient. And that's really, it's really what the EPA and a lot of these organizations
they want to do.
Have been working towards, over the years is conservation. Right?
Yes.
Use less power.
Right.
Devices, your car use less gas. All these things.
Yeah.
Are all driving toward a central force of saving energy.
Yeah. Well, we've gone a lot longer than I thought we sat down to shoot a 5-minute video.
You can break it into 5 minutes. One week at a time.
Yeah. So anyway, there you have it. If this has been interesting to you, for you, if you have questions, please communicate. But I think we're going to cut it off right here. So thank you for watching.